What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with another video for the Call of Duty League Super Week 2 DFS breakdown. If you're watching this video, this channel is specifically catered to breaking down daily fantasy sports analysis or daily fantasy sports information regarding the Call of Duty League. If you're watching this channel is catered to the Call of Duty League and Call of Duty League in reference or as it pertains to daily fantasy sports, specifically in DraftKings. I designed this channel to try and help people to make money playing Call of Duty League on DraftKings. So, if you like the idea, if you like the Call of Duty League, stick around, and I will be making a lot of content throughout the year. So yeah, today we have the Super Week Day 2, and today we're gonna have Paris versus Florida, the Paris Legion against Florida. We're gonna have New York versus the London Royal Ravens, and we're gonna have the Seattle Surge against the Minnesota Rocker. Three very good games we're gonna have today, and I'm very excited to show you some of the players I think are going to do the best, and I'm going to show you their prices. I'm going to discuss to you whether I think the teams have chances. What I think the teams are gonna win, like the rounds. I'll be talking about all of that. So if you want to see more content like this, remember, stick around the channel, and let's get started. So for our first game of the day, we have the Paris Legion against the Florida Mutineers, and this is a game that a lot of people are saying is a must win for Florida. Florida had a tough time against some of the teams earlier in the opening weekend. Um, I believe they did lose to opening weekend. The Florida Mutineers lost to Toronto Ultra. They lost 31, and people were saying that they weren't gonna they were gonna last. Um, I believe that this game is very important for them, and I believe that they need to win, and they are very favored to win. And as we know in the betting world, whenever a team is, heavily favored, there's a reason for it. As you can see here in the win column, I have placed the odds, the betting odds for the win totals, and Florida is it was a minus 800 as of me putting that in there. So that is amazing. That is incredible. The Florida is incredibly heavy favorites to win this, and for the most part, I don't see how they can lose. They're just a much superior team than the Paris Legion. Now, as for DraftKings prices, the only player on the Paris Legion that even remotely, I would like to maybe have in any lineups is Scraps, because he is the cheapest one. I believe he's 6,800 for the flex position, and he's arguably, well, he's the best player there, and he's at 6,800. So it doesn't make any sense. Fire is also good as well. I just don't think they're gonna get enough chances to really show what they got, because they're not gonna win. I think they're going to get 3-0'd. On the Mutineer side, honestly, I like Slacked Skies and Awakening. I'm going to fade, meaning I'm not going to play Neptune in any of my lineups because he's just too expensive. I feel like Neptune is very expensive. Um, Let me check on DraftKings. I believe that they have Neptune as 10,000. Oh, as you can see here, I did put the prices. I put the prices over here on under every single player forever. So for whoever wants to see them more easily. Neptune is a captain spot, $15,300. That is insane. And his flex position is 10,000. I mean, the kid is good, but the rest of his team is great as well, and they're very underpriced. So Slacked is at 9,000 for the captain position. His flex is 6,000. He's a very good player. He's one of those players where you're gonna put in GPPs and do really good because he has a good upside. He's a very good player, and he's very cheap. Skies is only $8,000 this slate, and I don't understand why. These guys are gonna run through the Paris Legion. He is too cheap at the captain position. He's at 12,000, and that's just really too cheap. Both of those prices are too cheap. So I'm looking at Skies very closely. I am gonna have him in many of my lineups. Awakening as well. Awakening's flex position is 9,800. That is pretty good. His cap is 14,000. You know, not too expensive for him because he's really good, but two very good prices right there just in Skies and Awakening, which you don't really get for these guys. Usually Skies is more expensive, so if you're watching this video, you should take that as consideration to, play him. The Florida Mutineers team salary is 4,000 for regular, and the cap is 6,000. And I will be having a lot of Florida Mutineers because I really do think they're going to 3-0 them. So I'm going to be having them in many of my lineups. The Paris team salaries are 2,000 for the regular team salary for the flex, and the captain position is 3,000, which nobody is going to touch. Yeah, these are the prices for the Florida Mutineers, and I really do think the Florida Mutineers are going to hit a 3-0. Skies Awakening, Slack are going to be the best values, and Scraps, I believe, has good value too. Now let's move on to the next one. So, for the second game of the slate, we have the New York Subliners against the London Royal Ravens. Now, this is a game I am looking forward to seeing because the New York Subliners, they were looking pretty scary before one of their players decided to retire because of a thumb injury. So they had to pick up an extra player that they weren't assuming they were going to pick up, Diamond Con. And one of their other players, Hydra, also is stuck across the planet because of Corona regulations and stuff. So their team was going to look super different, but they have still shown signs of, um, not dominance, but signs of, how do I say it? They're dangerous. You know, when they were playing against the LA Thieves, they showed. I mean, they made LA Thieves work for that 3-0. That was probably one of the hardest 3-0s, and I really think that the Subliners are going to win this series. With that being said, the London Royal Ravens are a decent team too, but I don't really think any of those players have like a huge upside. I really think that New York Subliners is the best or the better team for that fact. Some prices do stand out to me here on this slate, and one of them being Clayster at 10,000. I don't know if he's being accurately priced. I think he might be a little bit too expensive, and they took that based off of his last performance. The last game against the Thieves, where he got, I think it was 121 fantasy points. Clayster's a really good player. He's a beast, but I just don't know if he is worth 10,000 as of now. We've only seen him for one game. They pushed the price all the way up on him. You can see here, look, freaking 100 point clubbed on LA, but they quickly turned that around. Um, this team is pretty solid. Um, I think Mac did very terribly last game. Their last game, I'm not exactly sure what his price was, but I just know that he did super bad. Um, and if you think that it was a fluke, Mac has a good price too. He's at 7,800. His 11,700 captain price. I wouldn't put him as captain, but he is a nice little play if you want. Just for his flex position. Diamond Con as well, 7,600. Diamond Con has shown some signs of some signs of ability. He's shown some signs of ability in the games that we've seen him play, and I think that 7,600 is a decent price for him. Maybe a little bit too expensive, but I definitely wouldn't use him as a captain at 11,400. Um, Asim, Asim, I'm really neutral on Asim. I don't ever see myself playing him that much. I don't ever see him going off, so I don't justify his captain price or his flex price. Uh, you could just go up a little bit and just get a couple of the Minnesota Rocker players for that price. So I think that the players that I will be exposing myself to in the New York side are probably Diamond Khan. Uh, yeah, probably just him. And on the London Royal Ravens side, I don't think I'm going to be exposed to anybody. We um we really haven't seen that much of the London Royal Ravens. They did lose to the Seattle Surge. They did lose to the Seattle Surge in the opening weekend. So I don't really think the Seattle Surge is a bad team. I just think that London Royal Ravens aren't as good as the Seattle Surge, and that is maybe saying a lot. Not because they're bad, just because I think that the Seattle Surge are in the lower half, very, very lower part of, the teams in general. But considering that they got beat by them, they took them to a 3-2. It was a 3-2 war where Seattle Surge won. However, I just think Seattle got the better of them. And, you know, I think this team might need some work. They got a new player just recently with Parasite. I don't know if they had been scrimming with him, you know, up until when they had been scrimming with him, but he is new. They just added him to the roster. They took out a dude named Zero. I don't know if it was issues with, his visa or his country or whatever, but they got this guy now. So who knows how they're going to be playing into the future. That's why I'm not confident in, just getting anybody. If you're wild, you could get Parasite. He's at 5,800. I believe he is the cheapest player. But I'm not going to be touching the London Royal Ravens at all. So let's move on to the next game. Oh, and I almost forgot. Before we go to the next game, the New York team prices 4,800 for the captain position and 3,200 for the regular position. I believe they have 3-0 capabilities, but I'm not going to be taking the chance on New York at this time. Um, London, it's 2,800 for the regular flex position and is 4,200 for the captain position, which I don't think nobody's gonna touch. I mean, London Royal Ravens, they got a chance to win. I'm not saying they don't, but I don't see it happening. They might steal a couple games, but I don't see them winning. Um, the win totals are New York minus 115 and London plus 160. So New York is your favorite. And yeah, now let's go to the next game. So for our last game, we have the Seattle Surge against the Minnesota Rocker, and this is one game I am very curious to watch because I really think the Seattle Surge are better than people make them out to be. I really think they do have upside. I think they can hang with Minnesota, and I think they have the capability to take two games from them. Um, a lot of these players in the Seattle Surge are very talented. All of them, they're all talented. These guys are honestly the sleeper team of the CDL. These are the two sleeper teams of the CDL. I feel like Seattle Surge isn't as bad as people make them out to be, and Minnesota Rocker are going to be a force to be reckoned with later in the season. So I'm very excited to see this game. A couple of prices that do stand out to me in this slate. I'm exposed to a couple of players here. We got Octane at 9,600 for the flex position, 14,400 for the captain position. Octane is a player I am very willing to put in a flex position or captain position. Um, I think this game might go the distance, so Octane is going to be a good pick for me. Um, Pristini at 6,600 seems like a very decent price. I would never put him at cap. There's just too many guys out there with higher ceilings that even though they are more expensive, they will provide so many more points. They always will. Like guys like Awakening, guys like Octane, they will always have a higher upside. So Pristini, I'm only looking at 6,600, and that seems like a very reasonable price for him. Gunless, 14,000, almost the same as Octane for the captain position. I think that's kind of ridiculous. 9,400 as well. I think his price has been inflated because supposedly he just found out that he was playing on a 60 hertz monitor instead of 240. For those of you who don't know, all the professional players are playing on PC on 230 they're playing on PC on 240 hertz monitors. The refresh rate on those monitors is insane, so you can see everything quickly and in real time, even way smoother than your typical 144 monitor. Uh, it's kind of funny because he did pretty good last game. I don't know if he found out during the game or after or when it was that he found out, but his price went up, I believe, and people were saying he might get better, like he might play next level because he barely found that out. Um, Looney, uh, Looney's at 9,600, kind of expensive for the cap position. It's not that expensive. For the flex, 6,400. That's a decent price. That's a decent price for him. Pristini and Looney are the most cheapest, and honestly, I think that your best bet here would be Octane. For the Seattle Surge. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna win, but I think it's gonna be a drawn-out war, and we need to target those players who are in the uh, games that get up to in the matches that go up to 5 games, I should say. Um, on the other side, on the Minnesota side, I really like Major Maniac and Priesta. I do like Attach as well, but Priesta and Major Maniac are both they're the cheapest ones, um, and arguably they're the ones with the highest upside. One would say. Um, Priest is at 8,200. He hasn't been performing the best, you could say, but I really do think that at that price, he has a lot of upside. For what he's shown, he has a lot of upside. He had a couple bad games. The first game that they played, that they lost, the first series that they lost, and I think he's gonna rebound from that. So I think 8,200 is a decent price for him at the flex position. I would not get him at the cap at 12,300. That burned me the first week, but attach is 8,800. Um, Good price for attach as well. I think he went down in price. I believe he was in the 9,000s last week. His cap is 13,200. It's kind of expensive. I wouldn't use him in the cap spot, but that's that. Accuracy 13,500 in the cap spot. I wouldn't use him so much in the cap spot as well, and he's $9,000 flat for the flex position. So he's a decent he's a decent pull too. Major Maniac, 8,400 for the flex and 12,600 for the captain position. I really like Major Maniac. You almost never go wrong with him. Like he's a solid player. Um, those are my two favorite plays from the Minnesota side, Priesta and Major Maniac. You can't go wrong with either of them. It's all about being able to fit your it's all about being able to fit your roster, with all the different players that you want. It's not about just getting the best player. It's about getting multiple players that have a decent enough upside with a cheap enough price tag to where your lineup can be unique, and that way you have a better chance of winning, because your lineup has a lot of good players with a lot of good upside, and you didn't have to spend money in other places where it might have been wasted. So, this is the CDL Super Week, day number 2. Week 1, this is going to be the only Super Week we have, I believe, if anything doesn't get postponed in the future. But yeah, I forgot as well the Minnesota team prices are 30,000, 30,000, 3,400 for the flex position and 5,100 for the captain position, which I don't think anybody's going to do. Seattle is 2,600 for the regular team position, flex position, and the captain spot for that is 3,900, which I doubt anybody in the world is going to put that in their captain spot. So, to recap, these are going to be the games for the Super Week Day 2. And yeah, I'm going to be making a video for every single day of the week. Hopefully this is going to be released before the game start. If not, then I'll try to get better at that. I know they're coming out a little bit late, but nobody's watching right now. But yeah, so if you watched this video and you like what you see, like the content, and you like DraftKings and Call of Duty, stick around. I'll be making a whole lot more of these, and I'll be expanding my video portfolio. As of now, I'm just making a lot of these videos, for the daily fantasy. But in the future, I will definitely will be making more videos, more topics about the Call of Duty League in its entirety, and maybe other platforms like DraftBuff. I'm really curious, on how they work. Uh, but yeah, this has been the video for today. I'll have another video tomorrow, and thanks for watching.